ay, ay, ay. Ay, ay.
This is what life is like out here. No one practically for miles. Just lots and lots of fields and trees and this old road. And a dog taking a dump. How very gracious. What an upstanding dog. Whatever I'm feeding you, that ain't good. Well, at least he's having fun. I'm just out on my daily walk, trying to stay healthy. But I thought it'd be nice to at least show y'all what exactly things are like around here. Not a bad hill. My arm's getting tired holding this phone up already. Plus I've got a weight on it. That weight really starts feeling heavy after half a mile. I'm already way past that. Thanks, Ed. It's very rare that I ever see anyone. Probably why it's so difficult for me to speak. It's awful easy to hit these buttons on this thing. As you can see, there just ain't nothing at all around here at all. It's just miles and miles of nothing. It's not that it's not exciting, at least not completely not exciting. You see that dog up ahead. A while back, I thought he was doing so good staying with me for a change. And he ran up ahead and I was going to pet him. So I was walking up towards him and I went and made sure my controller was off so I didn't accidentally shock him or use the vibrator beep without reason. I looked up and I was not far away from him. It wasn't even a dog. I was walking up to a bobcat to pet it. The doctor said I should probably have my eyes checked. Fortunately, she was just joking, but that was the first thing she asked when she saw me was, how are my eyes? And I told her about the dog and the bobcat. But you have to admit, in the shade, that dog looks just like a bobcat, and the bobcat looks just like him. I'm sure I would have noticed the difference by the time I petted him anyway. Fortunately for me, the bobcat was not interested in being petted and left very deliberately. Sometimes I wonder if that's a wild hog in disguise, the way she eats and as greedy as she is. She's just a bitch. That's her personality. Staffordshire Terrier. Expensive bitch. We've never had so much money in our dogs in our lives. But she is the most huggable. She is the most huggable dog. I don't know if she likes being hugged. Her expression never, ever changes. She just looks at you like you better write your will out and be ready. But she does love people. Unless you've been around horses, then she wants to eat you. I don't know what she's got against horses. I guess she's been injured. Man. Fortunately, I don't see any bobcats or panthers or mountain lions or house cats. Although I am looking for a house cat. One of our neighbors is missing one. I saw it just before the cold snaps. Haven't seen it since. Ooh, fire. See a lot of them. One of the reasons I bought a drone was to keep a check on the fires in the area. We used to have a firebug living near us. Fortunately, he's dead. So all the landowners around here can breathe a sigh of relief. But it is quiet out here. Very few signs that there's even any civilization around. Power lines. A road, if you could call it one. Our neighbors' fences. Stuff like that. But 99% of the time, it's just me and these two dogs around. I recently started driving. Talk about a harrowing experience. I've driven my entire life, probably since I was in single digits. My parents being farmers delivering hay and wood to people. I was always driving tractors and even old pickups out on the roads at 9 years old. If you wanted to survive, it's what you did. That's actually the law around here. If it's farm use, you drive, regardless of your age. But it's back roads, so it's usually fairly safe. Used to be. My dad and I used to ride bicycles about 60 miles a day. Used to be safe to go down the highway on them. Not now. You can pretty well guarantee if you go out on a highway today, someone's going to intentionally try and run you over. You just don't get out there anymore. It's just an absolute terrifying experience. In fact, our nearest highway is called Deathway 9. More people are killed on it than anywhere in the U.S. I honestly believe that every time I've taken a tractor out to move farm equipment, that I've never been in a fatal accident. Not my doing. I'm doing just perfectly fine, but some idiot had come speeding by. I saw one car on 2 wheels going around me, almost decapitating him with the bucket. He wanted around a semi so bad he just didn't care what happened, I guess. It's nice out here right now. Very little wind. First hill I came over, I don't know what the deal is with it, but it can be pleasant like this, and you can have 60 or 70 mile an hour winds on that hill. Dogs, come on. Let me get them with this obedience collar. Usually a beep will do it. Sometimes I have to use the vibrate. I don't tend to use the shock function. It's actually amazing how well it's done. Right there is where I encountered that bobcat, actually. I was just standing there in the middle of the road, wondering, something doesn't look right with my dog. Finally noticed the snout was a little too short and the tail wasn't quite there. But I stopped before I petted it. I'd have a whole different story to tell if I did get up to it and petted it. Anyway, I gotta turn this thing off and check my mail. Be right back.
And now, on with the show.
I'm back. Typical junk mail. Gave my arm a little bit of a break there, though. Surprising how heavy this cell phone is. Glad I got it. Has amazing features. They recently activated AI on it, which I'll try out. I do quite a few little AI things, just playing around. Wanted to try and get into it and make a little bit of money on the side once I got my business up and running, but never could get there. I spent all last year fighting with the health insurance companies trying to get health coverage. All I wanted to do was just have some health coverage so I could get my prescriptions. See a doctor once a year so I could get them filled. But I guess humanity and the others just would rather I just died. I don't know how much money I cost them, but they cost me my life savings, so I ain't got any love lost for them. But I did save my dad's life, and I can attribute that to everyone who participated and funded Worm while I was part of the team. All that money I had earned working with Rolf and the rest of you guys literally saved my dad's life, even saved our farm. But it's all gone now. Used up all my money just paying taxes and bills and groceries. I can't believe how fast prices have risen. Can't blame it all on Trump, but everything that has happened since, they're eventually going to blame on him anyway. No president is really to blame for all that. That's just capitalism at its worst. I should say capitalism at its finest. My gosh, I'm a capitalist. I know the need for money. I know it quite well now. But I've only recently ever had to deal with taxes and bills and all that myself, because Mom and Dad took care of most things while I took care of them. This is the creek where our road had washed out, but we've got a new neighbor who's been filling it in, making it stay a little longer. We've got a lot of work to do. It's kind of sunk where I'm standing right now. Some delivery drivers are afraid of it, and it could still cave off on that side. This side's sinking. But it's a road, and it's passable when it's dry. From here on, there's no gravel, so if it gets wet, you're still stuck. You can use a four-wheel drive to try and make it. I've got to do my taxes on the 30th, and of course, 80% chance of rain. Just what I always wanted. We need the rain. There's been so little of it. Got so much trash I got to deal with. Out here, this far out in the country, you just have to burn your trash. So we burn all of our burnables. And boy, have I got a fire to start. If everyone was here, we'd just have to have a weenie roast or a marshmallow roast. I think that's what they're called. See if I can spin this thing around here. Yeah, that's me. I assume it's taking a picture of me. Just an old country boy. Redneck, hippie, hillbilly. Or was that redneck, hillbilly, hippie? I don't really tend to do long hair. I would have shaved today if I'd have thought I was going to try a video, but that's just how things are around here. Don't have to shave or look pretty for anyone. I think I'll take a detour to the new gun range. Dogs like to go this way too. I'm not going to lose much calories, not burn many of them. On this walk, if I seem winded, it's because it has been so cold and so wet I haven't been able to walk for a while. And it don't take long to get winded when you're like that. But honestly, if I had the room and the time, I could walk 10 miles a day at a good pace. Physically, medically, I'm in good shape. Just got hypertension. And I can't stand dealing with checking the mail for notices from health insurance companies and all the stupid red tape the state has been putting me through. That old trailer there used to be where that firebug tried to live. A really nice dog, got in there and died. He claims it got trapped and starved to death, but that's a lie. There's been so many dog incidents out here. We've always assumed there was a connection to him. Those old trash cars. It's hard to believe that guy. You could get him a new car and he'd have it trashed in a week. He had absolutely no business around any machinery. But you wouldn't believe how many times this place would just be going up in fire, flames 30, 40 feet high. We'd be fighting just to stop it from getting to our house. Everyone was so mad, wanting him gone, wanting the police or the fire marshal to do something. But they said there was nothing they could do unless someone's property was destroyed or someone was killed. But now it's no problem. He's gone and we've got new neighbors. All's well that ends well. This is a nice place. What they've done to it here, they brought out a bunch of equipment to make a training ground to certify police officers. Looks pretty good. I don't know what else they still have planned, but he's invested in our road. And we've got equipment to maintain it if we can get it on it. We'll help him with that. We've got to get more gravel on it. I recently spent nearly $7,000 on gravel for that road just to get my dad back out of the hospital. That was in mid-2022, I believe. It's It's amazing how much work it takes to get up this embankment. But I like it. Where was I? Oh yeah. All that gravel ended up being crushed concrete, but I still appreciate what the guy did. He was trying to get it to me as cheap as possible, and he was the reason I had a road to get Gary out of the hospital. Because Humana was just killing me. At the time, I had no idea. I was just dealing with an AI that was just refusing everything. At the time, I didn't understand why I was getting a response so fast. And I would have, attributed, they just got a lot of people on hand to review it and look, but no. After the first 3 correspondences, I noticed that the timing was the same. It was always, I think it was 1 hour and, 3 minutes or 6 minutes or something after I responded to them, and I'd get a response. It was an odd time, but it was the same every time. Oh well, enough about them. Normally they did a really bang-up job taking care of my dad and his medical needs. But they wouldn't lift a finger to help us when the doctors and nurses and the rehabilitation centers just begged them not to send him to where they wanted to put him. So I had to pay out of pocket just to keep him from getting COVID. There was just no way he'd survive that. Got him into a nice place. Even that home, they told me, it'd be cheaper just to rent an apartment and move in. But I got these things that have to be taken care of twice a day. Especially this one. She's not exactly safe around people. If you're wondering what I'm doing out here, I'm looking for shell casings. No particular reason why, I just like to do it when I'm winding down my walk. Because I usually go at a pretty good clip and need some time to cool off. And it's just something to do, something to exercise my legs. And it's peaceful. The noise from this gun range has been rather, fine. They're shooting all kinds of calibers. I guess I've got this place cleaned up pretty good. Shell casings I can usually spot instantly from that embankment. They just refract differently than anything else. The reflection just has a refraction that's just different than all the leaves and the rocks and the glass. Just make a note of it and then walk by them and pick them up. But I have yet to see a single refraction. No reflections of any kind. Dogs are found something. As long as they don't bring it home. Some 45s. 9s, 22. They've done some damage to these posts out there. They were out here training their wives not too long ago. And boy, the bullets were flying. I don't know if you can even make them out from here, but you can see it on that bottom rail across there. Lots of damage. I told them they need a lot more practice. Eventually I'll clean up my guns and come down here and make use of this place. But I live in the country. Is that what I think it is? How's one way up there? Let's see if I can show it to you. Right there, at the very top, there's a shell casing. Let's go get it. See, it's not going to be the easiest to find from that direction, but I'll give it a try. See, I'm boring. I have absolutely nothing interesting to tell you about. Tell you the horror stories, like I was down getting rid of some extra deer parts that the dogs had drug up from some illegal hunters that had killed some deer on our property. I was driving around the creek side of our field, and a massive flood of wild hogs just poured out of the creek right in front of me. So many hogs I couldn't even begin to count them. Several people said that it's been a long time since there's been groups of 30 or more, but that was way more than 30 hogs. Now let's see, where is it? Come out, wherever you are, shell casing. There's something shiny down there. Let's see here. Bingo. It's a 9. Yeah. 9mm. But I see the shine of brass down there. Don't really want to mess up his embankment. Maybe I'll try to come up to it. Ain't like anyone's been up here but me. Just a peaceful country life when no one's shooting at you. And I've been shot at plenty of times out here. Legal hunters just be driving along on a tractor, and all of a sudden you hear this little just a little bitty sound. Start noticing these little flies going faster than they should be. Realize someone's somewhere shooting a gun at you. You can't hear it because you got ear protection on. I'm not convinced that's a shell. That shine. I don't think I can see it in this. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe it is. It's the only thing out here that can make that kind of... Wait, there's one there. Let's see what that is. Oh, I see. They're spent bullets. I've got several pairs of shoes. Walking shoes. Work boots. Mud and hunting boots. I don't hunt, I just got boots for free from Amazon. I used them a couple of times to get to the mail when the road was muddy or flooded. They even sent me some new work boots, which is nice. They were really nice boots too. And they sent me, I can't really call what they are, like Asian restaurant shoes for restaurant workers, kitchen staff and stuff to wear to stay comfortable. They're water resistant and they're perfect for house shoes out here when you need to walk in the wet grass. Amazon's been pretty kind to me. They made an offer to me last year. I've been getting all kinds of goodies, pretty much anything and everything I want. So I've been able to stretch what money I had left over the last year while I was trying to get a business built up, but I had no idea that the state was going to get involved and tell me I couldn't get my own health care coverage anymore. I had everything straightened out, but then they got involved and said, nope, we're going to provide it, and it was a fight. You talk about ridiculous. Called the dogs back. A little beep. I'll start getting them to head to the house. But this is what it's like most days. Quiet. No people. Sometimes some animals. Sometimes the deer look at me like I'm weird. I've sat out here waiting on a delivery driver once, and it took so long that the deer just all came up to me, just like, yeah, he's all right. He's too slow to come after us. They're just grazing, having a good time. And someone called my phone, and I thought, oh no, now they're going to run away. They didn't care. I answered the phone, talked to my dad for a bit, and then finally got a notification on my phone that they had changed the date of my delivery. Had to wait the next day. Would have been nice if they could have told me that hours earlier. They were delivering parts for my solar power system. I wouldn't have mind waited. It's just these were big parts. Needed to pick them up, get them out of the weather, because sometimes our delivery drivers just leave them down there at the mailbox. And it wasn't something I wanted stolen. We don't get a whole lot of thefts out here. Most of them were related to the people that firebug who used to live here knew. Druggies and homeless people. They had no business being out in this area. Nothing for them. They're just looking for him. We gotta fix this road. This spot here is dangerous. It's a pretty good slant. Can't really see it on camera, but it's probably about, I don't think it's 15 degrees, but when it gets wet, you slide sideways. Let's see, what else can I bore y'all with? You're about to see one of the most horrific, hellish sights on earth. I often refer to this place as the 7th level of hell. One of my earliest memories was working in the fields as a little kid. Hands and knees bleeding. The heat just scorching. Stickers just painful. I don't know what they're called, but they're little thin stickers or thorns or whatever, golden colored on the side of these stickery vines. Me and others were just going down the watermelon rows and pulling them out. There it is. There's hell. I would have shown you a drone video, but I checked on it and that's illegal. I've got some really good drone videos. Amazing ones, in fact. But it's illegal to post drone videos without a Part 107 license, and I don't have the time or money to finish that out. I've got my regular drone license, but it only allows for recreation. And oddly enough, it allows people standing with me to fly my drone. I had planned on getting that grader going. It needs new tires and inner tubes. But I ran out of money for that project. It's one of those that you have to start a little motor and then start a big motor. And that grader, it works great now. I got it going good, but when I was going to use it to save our road, the steering cylinder busted. Needs new seals in it. I just haven't had the time to mess with that. That old shed blew apart with straight line winds. I was washing dishes and watched it just go straight up in the air and fly apart. There's a lot of tools in there. But this is it. The last stop on the road. Although technically the road used to go all the way through. Back in the horse and buggy days. When I was little, I could still find that road. Our open face shop used to be. My dad has filled it up with all kinds of stuff he's gotten. Tool sales, and actually most of this stuff came from, I don't know what you call it, an estate, but friends of his were moving away from the country, and so we took loads and loads of their tools and stuff that they didn't need anymore. And we didn't have a place for it. And they took care of a lady, had a lot of antiques and stuff. And we had to build a whole shed just to store all of it. All needs to be auctioned. But we have been without a road for 10 years. 10 years without a road. The only way in and out's been our little Ranger. These batteries are extremely expensive. So I put it on our solar panel system. Keep it good all winter. Don't want to have to spend any money on that. Already had the battery in that tractor go bad a year too soon. Another project. Main bearings are out. Easy job. Just never could get the shop cleaned out to do it. This is my lawnmower. I've got other lawnmowers, hand, riding, but that thing there, when we got it, it was a handful. It didn't work quite right. It was a struggle. It took 119 cranks to start that thing. I'd pulled the battery system and the alternator out of use because this thing caught fire and I didn't want to put money into that. So my dad and I just built a crank. I timed it and have been using it as a crank start. But 119 times and it would start. I never really figured out why. But eventually I changed the high quality steel fuel filter for a cheapo plastic one, and it'd start in 2 cranks, and it kept getting better and better. But now I need to rebuild that governor. It went wild on me last year. Fortunately, it shut down on itself, but it's all right. Amazon has even furnished free parts and stuff to keep this thing going, even a free seat cover. That thing worked pretty good too. But I keep tinkering on it and making it better and better. It's actually a pretty good thing to use. It mows great too. That old propane tractor there, the engine's great. Have no use for it. We got it back when diesel was extremely expensive. Thought having two fuel sources would be great. Then propane caught up to diesel prices and it didn't matter. I've ridden around on it, but we never used it. This here is a treasure. That blade is a factory-made blade. There's one verified in existence which can be found somewhere on YouTube by a guy who collects a lot of farm-all stuff. He's heard rumor of another one. I don't know if he's talking about this one or another one. This little tractor, it works. The hydraulics bled off on it, and I was moving it down the road, just getting it out of the way. And dirt started pouring over that blade, and the engine didn't even lug down. I got just absolutely shocked how much power that little H has. This old M used to be our work unit. Hard to see in this light, I'm sure. It still runs. Needs tires. But we quit using it and got diesel tractors. Run bigger equipment. That little orange thing is a surprise. There's only a handful of them left. It's an RC Alice. When I first researched these, there were none left that were intact and could run. Since then, it seems like some people managed to find enough scrap ones to put together to make, I think, 2 running ones. But this one's intact. Its main problem is in that bull gear over there. It has a tooth chipped off. We just never had time to rebuild it. But it could easily be made to run. I think the serial number on this one is 92. This old F20, my dad wanted to put a little Briggs & Stratton engine on it. We may still do that, and I doubt it. But it'd be interesting. This F20 runs. Runs pretty good. Another project. This is a John Deere 50. It needs to be running. The idiot who had it before had borrowed it from the owner. She loved that tractor. And he took the spark plugs out of it over winter to intentionally let rainwater get in it. He just a jackass. But I've watched enough of these on YouTube to know that it's not that bad to repair, just expensive. That little pickup bed camper's full of antiques and collectibles. An old John Deere hay wagon. As you can see, we're using it for, yeah, it ain't hay. Trash. Lots of trash. This thing here I wanted to fix up because it looked neat. Needed the crankshaft straightened. Never did get to it. This thing here is a good working tractor. And that's our main road grader right there. Used to be a horse-drawn. We converted it to a 3-point. Put a truck axle under it. It's powered by human. I've got cylinders. I could make it hydraulic, but why? That old truck my dad used to run used to be a box truck from California. He converted into a flatbed, and I think it was converted into a flatbed, but he extended it and hauled billions of bales of hay. It was literally the fastest hay truck there was. He told one of his hay hands, he told him, look at that hay truck over there. If that hay truck gets out of the field before we do, you're fired. No one outran him on hay. The factory hay wagons could haul more hay, but they weren't as fast. And he could overload it if he had to and get just as much hay on this thing. It's an old 56 Chevy. It runs so quiet you can't even hear the motor from probably 30 feet away. The engine had never been broken down into, never been rebuilt. We put a water tank on it to water our watermelons. This was our garden, but it's been doing poorly for a while. Our fields are at a standstill because wild hogs have got them ruined. Can't straighten them up because they just ruin them again. If anyone wants to come out and have a pig roast, go after it, but I must warn you, wild hogs ain't exactly safe. Saw a helicopter out here a few days ago shooting them. I guess they only got one hog, but that's one down. I'm sure they've got replacements. Hogs are pretty vicious that way. They send out a scout. If that scout comes back with good reports, they go and invade. If it don't come back, they send another least valuable member of their clan out to find out what else is out there. They see a trap or something unusual, they send the least important member of their group to check it out.
wah,